Hey Caroline, I decided to make you a video overview of this strategy so that you could get a little bit more context and detail for each of these rather than just trying to make some inferences yourself. So I have about 9 strategies that I think we could use with our students to meet our goal and our learning targets. The first one is a quick write game. This is a really fun activity that we can do with our student that would really help build writing stamina, but also can start to begin to help us begin to revise for cohesive logical sequences of ideas, and really any of our learning targets. We can kind of use this as a basis, just as a chance for practice. So the rules of the game are write as much as you can and write as best as you can. We show the student 2 images. They get to pick one to write about. And we time the student for 1 minute, and that's how long they get to write. Once the minute's up, they have to stop. Then they have to count the number of words that they were able to accomplish, and we pause there. Then we do another set of options. So grandma or soccer, they get to choose one option. We give them a minute, and they write for another minute, and then they count the number of words they did that time. Ideally, we see improvement in the number of words that students are able to use from the first round to the second round. And then we do this one more time with a picture. Again, they get to choose one of the images to write about. And then we can celebrate the growth of the number of words each time. Now, this is where you want to pick an opportunity for them to revise. So we have them pick one paragraph, and maybe we focus on one learning target, or we can slowly work on all the learning targets depending on what you want to do with this. But we have them revise for that learning target. So for example, if we wanted to focus on capitalization, we could just have her revise with that, and we'd work on that together. But this is just a fun activity that will engage our student, that will help build their stamina, and also give us a springboard for revising based on the skills we want to focus on. Sentence templates and paragraph outlines, I think, kind of go together. We could really do both at the same time. I think once we know what the topic that our student's paragraph will be about, we can start to create some transition phrases, some beginnings of sentences for the student, and then have that student fill that in as part of their paragraph. I also think it'll be important to provide the student with a concrete outline of sentence by sentence of what needs to be included in their paragraph. Now, this is not related to the topic specifically, but we have, topic sentence, define the topic sentence, space for her to write the topic sentence. Then the evidence and whatever the elements of the paragraph that we've been learning. So I think providing one or both of these options for our student when they're writing their first draft will be really powerful. Another form of revision that we could be doing is through Radar. It's a great way to get our student thinking more concretely about how to make changes in their writing. Radar stands for replace, add, delete, and reorder. And so we can introduce this concept, modeling it with our own paragraphs for the student, and then having them use it on their own drafts. No Red Ink is another strategy that is specific to grammar. It has pre-made assignments for all levels of students. So looking here at the curriculum, we can have specific things related to writing if we wanted to, but under grammar and conventions, we can, let me just click here really quick, we can have them focus on capitalization. We can also have them focus on different types of punctuation. With spelling, we can focus on commonly confused words. When thinking about using complete sentences, we can have them think about the components of a sentence. So there are tons of topics that we can assign our student. And what's really fun is that our student can create an account, and it personalizes the account to them. And we don't have to create anything from scratch. So this would be a good opportunity for just some quick intermediate grammar practice for the kid. Okay, another strategy that I thought of was modeling with examples and non-example paragraphs. So with the non-example paragraph, what I'm thinking is we have a series of sentences that when put in the right order would make sense, but we initially first put it in the wrong order. And I imagine like little strips of paper, and we have our student rearrange the sentences to be in a more logical order. And then I also think it's a good idea for us to show her some example paragraphs that we write and together deconstruct what makes them logical. And we can also focus on any of our other learning targets with our examples as well. But I think modeling will be really important for the student. This is something that we can do that's just kind of simple and straightforward. We can create a checklist with all of our learning targets and have that maybe part of the revision process, maybe tying that to radar revision, but giving our student a purpose of what to look for when they're making changes. And then these two games are great for grammar practice if we want something a little bit more interactive besides the website I showed you. Chain Story is a game that us three could play together. The first sentence is the beginning of the story, and then we each take turns writing one sentence and building on that story. Now, when I pass the paper to the student has the opportunity to write a new sentence, or let's say I made a mistake on my previous sentence. Let's say I forgot to put a period at the end. Then the student can pass their turn and instead make a correction to my sentence. And then the goal is that we, within the amount of time provided, are able to have as few mistakes in our story as possible. That's Chain Story. Then Fragment Game is a great way to start introducing cohesive concepts and ideas. We can give the student a series of these fragments, and then verbally we complete the sentence in a logical manner. So we would model this first, and then try to get our student to do this on their own. All right, when it comes to these strategies, you can choose as many as you like. If you don't like any of these, we can go back to the drawing board, but let me know your thoughts. Thanks.